Hey, welcome to Fathering Our Future, the podcast for dads. I'm Anthony Vandagriff, and I am not the perfect dad, but every day I am trying to be better. I hope you have thoroughly enjoyed your Labor Day weekend. I hope if you're listening to this on Monday, my release day, which is Labor Day this week, that it's early in the morning, late at night, or during your kids' nap time period, but hopefully it's not Monday, and hopefully you took advantage of that weekday when you're supposed to be at work, but you get it off. And I hope you've spent every minute that you possibly could with your family, that you spent extra time with your kids, because you don't always get it. And when you get days like this, you need to take advantage of them as a dad. So I hope that you did that. And what I hope even more than that is that you loved your time with your family, with your kids, that you loved what you did with your kids. I want to talk to you this week about getting stuck in the comparison game. I do not want you to get stuck in the comparison game. And this is very easy for us to do, especially with social media. Now, I'm not going to knock social media because I think social media is an incredible thing. From my perspective, just for me personally, it gives me a great opportunity to build an audience and to connect with people and help dads be better dads every day. It gives me the opportunity to build community and to engage with people. I think that's a wonderful thing. It also gives me the opportunity to stay connected with friends that don't live close by. I have an opportunity to see what other people are doing and to engage in their lives and still be connected to them even though there's distance between us. Social media is an incredible thing, and it gives us a wonderful opportunity. But just as there are pros, there are typically cons, and there are some bad things, and those bad things typically result in how we perceive social media. It's a mentality. It's a perspective. So I don't want you to get stuck in the comparison game, because I understand that for the vast majority of us, social media is at the heartbeat of everything that we're doing. Now, what I mean by that is while it might not be the inspiration all the time, it's something that we are constantly engaging in. Think about yourself. If you're not paying attention to what you're doing and you are driving your car and you come to a red light, what do? There's a lot of times where you probably find yourself pulling out your phone and going to whatever your preferred platform is and just scrolling, just getting 2-3 scrolls in just to see if you see anything in that moment. We are at a place where we are constantly taking in content and information, where we're trying to entertain ourselves and feed ourselves with content from those that we follow or those that we are connected with. And social media gives us that opportunity. It doesn't matter what kind of content you want, you can find it on social media. If you're having a bad day and you want to feel sad and you want to really just wrap up and embrace your sadness, you can find content that's going to make you sad. If you're into gossip, which I hope as dads you're not, but if you're into that sort of thing and you want to see what someone that you're not quite fond of is doing so that you have something to talk about, social media gives you that opportunity. Social media also gives you the opportunity, if you are a dad and you know that you're not the perfect dad, but you want to be better every single day, it gives you the opportunity to engage with podcasts and pages like Fathering Our Future, where you can connect with other people who are in the same place you are with the same goal and the same mission to be a better dad every day. Shameless plug. But social media gives you the opportunity to get whatever you want, whenever you want it. And it's nice when you start to interact on social media and you start to get some engagement. You start to have people comment on your post. People start to like your pictures. It feels good. It feels nice to have a large number of followers. But the thing that really gets us with the large number of followers and the large number of interactions is it starts to give us a false sense of validation. And it can easily misdirect our attention while destroying our values, because we get sucked into this game of likes and loves, comments, compliments, and critiques. And before too long, everything that we do is hinging and being inspired by social media. Will this get me likes? Will this engage my followers? Will I start a commenting war? It starts to be the heartbeat of everything that we're doing if we are not careful. So what I want you to be careful of is to not compare yourself or your kids, your family, with others. You are different than I am. You will not parent exactly the way that I parent. You will not have the same exact views that I have. I have a lot of good friends and we agree on a lot of things, but there are little bitty details that we have our differences on. We're still friends. We're still great friends. But I don't know if there's a single person who sees everything and does everything the exact same way that I do it. And that's good. That's normal. And while we can look at other people and be inspired and motivated to maybe change some of our habits and behaviors, what we ought not to do is compare ourselves with other people and then say, we're not good enough, or we need to do this, or we need to do that, or we're just never going to be qualified for this because we'll never be as good as this person. That's not what it's about. If you spent time looking at social media on Labor Day and you saw other people post pictures of their kids and their families, and it looks like they had a great time, and it looks like 100 or 1,000 other people agreed that they had a great time because they engaged with that post, if you feel down about that, you're stuck in the game of comparison, and you need to get out of it because you need to love your life. You need to love your traditions and the things that you do with your family, the things that you do with your kids. People don't like all the things that I do with my kids. People won't agree with everything that I do as a dad, and that's okay because this is my life, and I live it to the best of my abilities based on my values and morals. And if people don't see eye to eye, that's okay. I will change along the way. I'll grow along the way. Everything won't be perfect, but some things will be quirky. Some things will be weird, and they'll be something that I do with my kids, something that me and my family, that we do together because it's our thing. You will have that with your family, and you need to love that, and you need to embrace that. A buddy of mine, really funny, his name's Josh. I interviewed him on the podcast about having fun with your kids. I'd recommend going and listen to that with Josh Youngblood. But he posted a video that he did with his son, and it's a prank. It's got to be a prank. It's fun. So anyway, so you take some water, you pour it on the floor, you're sitting, you got your legs spread a little bit, your son or your kid, whoever it is, I did with my son, they're sitting across from you, legs spread a little bit, but not further than yours. You pour water, you're holding a towel, you tell them, I'm going to dry up this water, and they have 2 kitchen utensils, and you tell them that they have to try and hit your hand with the utensils before you can dry the floor. Now, you don't tell them that you're going to use the towel because you're not using the towel. You count down from 3, you throw the towel over their head, you grab their legs, and you pull them to you, and what you do is you dry up the water, but you use their butt to do it. Now, my buddy Josh did it with one of his sons, and they just bust out laughing. I mean, they are having a good time. I did it with my son. He pulls the towel off his head. He's like, what was that? I said, I dried the water up. He said, what? I said, I used your butt. He got mad. My son started swinging that utensil and beating the towel. He's like, that's not how you play this game. You're supposed to use the towel. And he wanted to play it again because he really wanted to smack me with those kitchen utensils because he thought this was a game. And for him, everything is a competition. And he wants to beat me at anything and everything that he can. Now, I could have been discouraged and disappointed that me and my son didn't laugh as much as my buddy and his son did. But I'm not discouraged about that because my son is not his son and I am not him. I might try to be fun like he tries to be fun, but I understand that my family and our dynamics are different from his. So what you need to do is you don't need to get upset when a picture-perfect moment for another family doesn't turn out to be a picture-perfect moment in the same way for you and for your family. Because it's not always going to work that way. You can't get upset about that. You can't compare yourselves with other dads. Now, you can do it and say, I like what they're doing. I would love to change some of my habits and behaviors so that I can begin to mimic some of this behavior. But where you go wrong is where you begin to compare yourself with other people and say, I'm not good enough, or what might even be worse is when you say, I'm better than that, because pride comes before destruction. So just be careful with the idea of saying, I'm better. I can do that and I can do it better than they could. Just be cautious with that. But also be careful with saying that you're not qualified or that you're inadequate, that you can't do what they do. You have the capacity to do incredible things. You are an imperfect dad, but so am I. But together we can better father our future. And every day we can be better dads. We can do this. So don't sell yourself short. Don't look at other dads and say, I can never do that. Don't get stuck in the comparison game. Don't look at social media. Don't get this false sense of validation because a lot of people happen to like something that someone else posted, or maybe that you even posted. But what happens when a lot of people like one post and they don't like the next one? Well, then you start to think something's wrong. I want you to post stuff on social media because it's stuff that you genuinely love, that you care about, that you want to share. You might get 0 reactions. That's okay. It shouldn't be about what other people think. It should be about what you think. It should be about what you value. That's what you should be posting on social media. That's what your interaction should be about. If people engage with that, great. And if they don't, great. It doesn't matter. It's about what you love. It's about what you value. You're not trying to pull an audience. You're not trying to get likes. This is your family. That's your focus. That's what you should love and care about more than anything. So what? Your post didn't get as much engagement as someone else's. You could have done the exact same thing. There are people that can post pictures of themselves waking up from bed with horrible bed head. And you could do the same thing. And you could maybe even do it with a cooler backdrop. But you know what? They already have an audience. So people who follow them are just going to like it because I honestly don't know why, but people are going to do it. And so you might not get that response. But you don't need to try and be someone else. You don't need to get stuck in this game of comparison where you want to be like no, you don't want to be like somebody else. You want to be you. You want to be the best version of yourself. You want to be the dad your kids need you to be. It's who you are. You're not trying to mimic and be someone else. That is not the right approach. But that starts to happen when we allow ourselves to get stuck and sucked into this comparison game. So, post the things that you love. Post the things that you care about. You ought to look through your phone and see the pictures, the videos that you have of yourself with your kids and your family. And you ought to be the main one who loves and cherishes those the most. I'm going to share one story, then I'm going to let you go. I've got a couple pictures on my phone that are old that I just can't delete off my phone. I store everything somewhere else, and I've got pictures from the time we started having kids. But there's some that I can't get rid of. There's one picture that I have on my phone of my son, Frankie. He was not even 2 years old yet, and little man's about to be 6. Anyway, he's not 2 yet. And in the picture, he's just sitting in a chair at our dinner table. We've got a pretty sturdy dinner table. It's a nice table. It was given to us by a really wealthy family. It's a wonderful gift. But he's sitting at the table, and he's looking out the window. He's got a little snack in his hand, but he's just sitting there. And some people would probably look at that and say, oh, that's cute. Some people would look at that and be like, why are there no adults with this kid? Because there's always the naysayers and the critics. But people would look at that and they would have some pretty obvious assumptions about what they see. But nobody will look at that picture the way that I look at that picture. And I love that because it's special to me. Because you don't know the story, but I do. I know that leading up to that, Frankie got to the point in life where he was trying to climb everything. And so for weeks, probably a couple months at least, Frankie tried to climb into those big wooden chairs that we had at the dining room table. And he tried and he tried and he could never do it. And I would have to go give him a little shove, give him a little help, boost him up onto the chair, and he could sit there. And he loved it because for him, it made him feel like a big boy, made him feel like he was on the same playing field as mom and dad. One day I came home from work and I walked through the house, walked through the front. We had a little circle at the time. So as I walked through the front and turned left and looked at where the dining room table was, there I saw Frankie all by himself, sitting in the chair, looking out the window, eating his snack. Now, for me, I know that little man tried for weeks to be able to do that and was unsuccessful, but he kept trying because he wanted to be big, and I know he wanted to be big like Daddy. And so when I turned that corner and I saw him sitting there, most people probably would think, why did someone take this picture? But I took that picture because that was my son who had been trying for weeks to do something that made him feel big like his daddy. And he finally accomplished that goal. So for me, I've got little things like that on my phone that are special to me. I could post that picture on social media, and there might be a couple of people who give it a thumbs up because they're just scrolling and they think, oh, he was so cute. And that's it. But nobody knows that story the way that I do. That will not be as special to anyone else because I know the story behind the picture. And you know the story behind all of your pictures. You know the context because it's your life. It's your family. They are your kids. So do not get stuck in this comparison game where you can't love what you have because other people don't love it too. Who cares if anyone ever likes a picture that you post? You don't even have to post the pictures. Share the things that you love. Share the things that you value. Don't share things based off how much engagement you think you're going to get. It's not worth it. You're doing things for the wrong reasons. Love your family. Love your kids. Be excited about the life that you have. That's what I want you to take away. And that's what I want you to practice. Be mindful of it this week. And hopefully it'll stick with you beyond this. But be mindful of your engagement and how much you're on social media. Be mindful of your intent behind your posts. Are you posting just because you want someone to like your picture or to like your comments? Or are you posting because it's something that you love? Is it something that you value? Let that be your motivating factor behind social media. And don't get stuck in the comparison game. Love your family because that is special to you. And it will not be as special to anyone else. So don't let others dictate how you feel about what you have. What you have is miraculous. What you have is a blessing. And what you have is exclusively yours. So remember that and love your family. This is Fathering Our Future, the podcast for dads. I'm Anthony Vandagriff. Thank you for being with me, and I hope you will join me next time. Hey, thanks for watching today's episode. I hope it has blessed you and challenged you to strive to be a better dad every day. And if you'd like more great content like this, just subscribe to the channel. Also, if you think dads are valuable and essential to the family, consider supporting this effort. Just go to fatheringourfuture.com and click support. Every contribution helps, and it's greatly appreciated. Thank you for being a part of Fathering Our Future.